Discriminating Gamer, the Eagles of board game review shows. Because when I play board games, I've got a peaceful, easy feeling. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the big show. Today I'm going to take a look at my top 5 games from another company, and today is AEG. My top 5 games from AEG. Let's take a look. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, jumping right into it, I want to talk about my honorable mentions for AEG. First of all, The Captain is Dead. The Captain is Dead was a great strategy game in which, of course, you've got the starship is being attacked, the captain is dead, and you're the various members of the crew that are racing to repair the ship and overcome your alien opponents. A lot of fun. Of course, there is Mercante from the Tempest series. Mercante was kind of a worker placement game, kind of dealing with the docks of Tempest, where you're trying to select items to bring goods and cargo into the city. It was a lot of fun. Canalis, also the Tempest games. Canalis was a game, it's almost where you're laying these like Tetris shapes down to create kind of the city and the dockyards of Tempest itself, so to gain points for tile placement and whatnot. It was a lot of fun. I really liked that one as well. But now, let's go ahead and take a look at my top 5 games from AEG. Number 5 is a game that I only played recently, and it was given to me for Christmas by my good friend, Mr. Zach Zumbrunnan. He actually sent me a copy of this game. This is Twilight Squabble. Twilight Squabble, of course, is a light card game that kind of takes place over the course of the Cold War. One of you is the Soviets, one of you is the Americans. And essentially, you're trying to outguess the opponent. It's kind of a glorified rock, paper, scissors, but it's a lot of fun. There's some real choices there. You're trying to outguess the other guy, so there's some bluffing involved. It was really a lot of fun, and for as light as the game was, it was still pretty thematic, and I really enjoyed it. I got a very big kick out of Twilight Squabble, and I highly recommend that. That is my number 5. My number 4 is Batman Love Letter. Batman Love Letter. I mean, I love Love Letter. Love Letter is just this fun game, but I like the Batman theme. I like Batman, and so that was, for me, a no-brainer. I really like the Batman part of that game quite a bit. So Batman, Love Letter. What I like about Love Letter is it's a game that is so simple. It's just so simple. It's such an easy concept. It's one of those concepts, why didn't I think of it? You know, you've got one card is your hand, you draw another card, and then you've got to play one of those two. And each of the cards, of course, affect the other players and how cards are played. It's tremendous fun. It's fun. It's a fun 2-player game, but it's better with 3 or 4, ideally 4 players. But a tremendously fun light card game, quick and easy to learn, easy to play. So I love Batman Love Letter. That is my number 4. My number 3 is a game that I just played. It was weird. I bought this game years ago. I bought it 2 or 3 years ago, and it sat on my shelf, and I never got around to it. And then right before I moved to Texas, I played it. I played a couple of games with different groups, and I was like, oh my gosh, this game is amazing. Why did I sit on it? And it was a game, too, that got a lot of hype when it came out. A lot of people loved this game. And honestly, it was a game that, I think one of the reasons why it sat on my shelf so long is it wasn't a game that really called out to me, and I kind of bought it just because of the hype. And for my money, after I played it, the hype was justified. This is Trains. Trains is a great game where you're essentially, it's a deck building game, board game. So it's a board game where you use deck building essentially to build your rails, but of course you're also taking waste, which is causing you problems and won't let you do the things you want to do. But you've got to essentially, in order to like build something, they'll say you get to build this, but you got to take a waste card. So your cards get clogged up with all this waste, and then there are some cards you can buy that will help you get rid of some of those waste cards. But it's just tremendously fun. I really enjoyed Trains. It was a game that kind of blew me away. I liked it a lot. It was very hyped up, and I liked it. Ended up liking it a lot more than I thought I would. So that is Trains from AEG, my number 3. My number 2 game is a game, again, from the Tempest series. This is a game that, for a long time, was my number 1. In fact, my 1 and 2 kind of go back and forth. But I really liked this game quite a bit, and at times it has been my favorite AEG game, but I'm currently putting it number 2. This is Dominaire. Dominaire, of course, is another Tempest game, as I say, and it is where you are trying to control the various districts of Dominaire through cube placement. And of course, as you're adding cubes, you're taking your enemy's cubes out, you're knocking cubes out on a one-for-one basis. But also you have to create a tableau of cards that let you take certain actions at certain times and certain sequences, and that's very cool too. You're also getting coins, and you're trying to buy your way into these areas. It's just tremendously fun. It's a great area control game, but what I like about Dominaire most of all is it is a mean game. This game is incredibly mean. This is a game that you're playing, friendships will be tested with this game. It is so mean, but it's so much fun. It really is good. Every time I played this game, I don't think I played this game with anybody who didn't like it. It's a game that draws people in because it is so mean, and you see everything going the way you want it to go, and then somebody just pulls a move, and it just destroys your hopes and dreams. But anyway, a very fun game. That is Dominaire from AEG, my number 2 game. And finally, my number 1 game from AEG. Now, again, this is a game that at times has gone back and forth between 1 and 2, but I'm finally ready to admit that it is my number 1. Again, it is a Tempest series of game, and this is Courtier. Courtier from AEG is a tremendous game. Now, Justin and I, Sean was there too, but we reviewed this game in Season 1, Episode 4 of the Discriminating Gamer. We kind of had some fun with it, and it's just a great game. This is a game that, again, Zach Brunnan, my buddy Sean's brother, he loves this game. This is like one of his absolute favorite games.
Because I like Courtier too!
And I gotta be honest, this is a game that I don't think ever got the love it really deserved. I would put this up against Catan or Ticket to Ride as a good gateway game, because I think it's accessible, but it's also, there's some good strategy there and competition. I really like it a lot, but essentially it's a area control game where you're trying to influence various courtiers in a royal court. You're trying to influence the queen, but you got to recruit these other figures. You know, the senators, the merchant, the painter, the prince, the royal family. You're all trying to use them to influence the queen, and you do that by placing cubes next to them. But again, people can play cards and maybe switch cubes around, or let them just get rid of your cubes, put their cubes there, and as you're doing it, each of the various coteries, which is like these areas of different courtiers, give you certain powers as long as you hold the majority there. And as soon as you lose the majority, you lose those powers. But it's a tremendously fun game. I really love Courtier. Again, this is a game I don't think I've ever played with anybody who didn't like it. And most people I've played it with have absolutely loved it. It's tremendously fun. One of my favorite games. This is consistently in my top 100. It's usually right around 30 or so. But I absolutely love Courtier. And, if you can find it, if it's out there, I don't know if it's still in print, but pick yourself up a copy, because you will not be disappointed with Courtier, I promise you. It's a quick game, 45 minutes to an hour, not a long game at all. So that is Courtier, my number 1 game from AEG. Well, thank you once again, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us today on the Discriminating Gamer in this top 5 list. Again, please let me know in the comments, do you want to see more of these top 5 lists or not? But I'm interested to bring you more kind of my my opinions on this when and where I can. But I like it. I like going back and revisiting some of my favorite games from time to time. I think it's fun for me, and hopefully it is for you as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, please thank you for joining us today. Please leave a comment for us on YouTube, on Board Game Geek, on our Facebook page, or on the discriminatinggamer.com. Please like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube, etc., etc., etc. And ladies and gentlemen, I know AEG, their corporate office is in San Clemente, which means if you go there to visit, you could actually stay at the Hotel California.
Please somebody help me on my feet again, and I don't know where I'm going, and I don't know where I've been. Please somebody help me on the solid ground. It's a long time, and I'll be dying. Once a year I wind up in the band.
It's the Courtiers. Better watch out for those guys. It's the Courtiers. Everything they're saying is full of lies. All in a power-hungry craze. Demons dressed in suits and bustiers. Who won't stop till you're socially dead? Trading battlegrounds clowns for ballrooms instead. Climbing social ladders while they're staying on track. Whining and dining while they're stabbing